Well, this is Chainsawbobs little hill climb here. We're out here at Clear Lake out of Ori, Colorado. The lake is about 11,900 feet. I'm probably about maybe 8,000 or 9,000 feet above sea level right here. It's a rough day. Ended up crashing on this day, coming back down the hill. My friend Al Budson left me at the bottom of this hill. He wouldn't ride up here with me, although he probably wouldn't have liked it, but I just took it as a big adventure to ride up here this day. Just getting a little breath of air. The air is a little thin up here. The poor little old Yamaha is really struggling to go up this hill. We've already had to remove the side of the air filter box. The filter was still in place, but just the side of the box so that the thing could get a little more air because of the thin air up here. But it had about maybe 13, 14 horsepower, and on this day up in this area it must have been about 7 or 8 horsepower is all I could get out of it. So it's really struggling. I'm pulling just first and second gear trying to get up this hill. This hill made it pretty clear to me why they call these the Rocky Mountains, that's for sure. I had no idea where I was going up here, but I was going up there, and I was bound determined I was going to get there. And it just kind of got rougher than I expected it to do, and I just made my mind up I was going on, and I didn't give a damn what it was up there. Heaven forbid if I fell off the side of this, which I almost did coming down, why I wouldn't have stopped till next Tuesday, rolling down through there, I guess. Wasn't much to stop you down through there. I doubt the time I got rolled to the bottom of that thing that I'd probably still been alive, because it was a long ways down from up there. Very rocky, as you can see going up there. It's about maybe 400 feet off the side of that hill to that water drain off from the lake up there, a little creek that comes down the side of that mountain. Coming back down here, if you see the rocks on the right hand side, after I fell down and was going on down, there was a little landslide of the rocks right in front of me, and I thought it was going to take me right off the side of that, but I'd already turned the camera off at that point. But, I just thought I would make this little video clip here and try to talk a little bit about it. Right here is the point, I think, where I fell when I was coming down the other way. Sure, because it doesn't look the same going up as it does coming down, but I almost went right off the side of that thing. And I get a little closer right here, and didn't intend to, but I was having trouble keeping the poor thing running. I had to go back to first gear to pull up that little steep part right there. I'm finally up to the top of this, looking around here and trying to say, where is this lake at that I was talking about up here? Because I don't see it at first. Glad to be up to the flat part of the ground up here for a change. It's beautiful up here, and it's so quiet you cannot believe it. There's no noise at all up here once you shut the engine off. Not a sound, except me huffing and puffing trying to get some air in my lungs. One of the strangest and most beautiful places I think I've ever been. Certainly was the highlight of my trip out there to Colorado last summer, about 15 months ago, 18 months ago, I guess now, something like that. Fulfillment of a bucket list dream to be able to ride out there in those mountains, and this trip up this side of this mountain here really was the highlight of the whole trip for me. I'm glad I did it. I never knew what was going to happen when I came up here, and I didn't know what I was going to find. So I'm looking about this point thinking, is that the lake? Surely that's not the lake. The road just keeps on going on, so I just got to ride on down through here. And it's almost a mile back in here till you actually find the lake. It's just a little runoff pond from it right there. From the looks of this up here, this might be an old volcano many thousands of years ago, the way the mountains go around this particular area here on 3 sides. could have been what that was. I don't know how you know what it was. But rocks was kind of rough up here. Still see there's snow on the ground. It was probably about 40 degrees on top of this mountain. The snow was melting a little bit up here off, but you can still see it. And there's Clear Lake there. It's hard to tell from this point or anything, but I think that lake was probably the better part of a mile long up through there. And maybe at its widest point, maybe close to a half-mile wide, or at least a third of a mile wide across there. Without any reference points, everything, you know, it's hard to judge up here. It wasn't actually 13,000 feet high like it says on the screen right there. It's 11,900 feet is what the Clear Lake is supposed to be. The mountains on the side of it there, they'll probably go up another 700 or 800 feet. As you can see how far back that road goes, and it gets real narrow back there. That lake's fairly long. I talked to a guy at the campground about this ride up here, and he told me that he'd never heard of a motorcycle going up on top of this thing up here because it's too rough. I've seen pictures of Jeeps and four-wheelers on YouTube that were up here, but no motorcycles, and I can understand why after I rode up this thing. But nobody told me I couldn't. So there was a sign about halfway up this mountain to look out for grizzly bears. I'm pretty glad I didn't see any up here or anything. I don't think that bike would outrun them, I'll tell you that. I could just about have walked as fast as it would run up there. I go down here and wasn't planning on talking to the camera, but like I said, folks, I was kind of lightheaded, and God knows I'd talk about anything here. I take my helmet off and give a little speech here, and my head's a splitting though from the lack of oxygen up there. Me not being used to it. So here comes my little speech. Don't laugh at me too much. I laugh at myself when I watch it. Well, folks, I may be 72 by God, but I still got up the mountain. And on 225 little cc's too. So Chainsaw Bob, you ought to get out and try this. It was a fun day, I'll tell you. I'm glad I did that. I really am. Oh, Chainsaw Bob, I hope you enjoyed this. If you'd like to watch the video of the crash, it's called The World's Most Dangerous Motorcycle Road by Chainsaw Bob. It's on YouTube. You have to just search down through the site and find it there. And I hope you enjoy it. It's a video of the actual crash, or the ride up and the crash coming back down. Thanks a lot now. Chainsaw Bob.